Now, as the sun rises in Florida, we're getting a closer look at the damage that Hurricane Helene left behind.
Yeah, Helene is now a tropical storm, but more than 1 million homes and businesses in the Sunshine State alone are waking up without power. That's also where we find reporter Gage Goulding. He rode out the storm in Tallahassee, joining us now live from the road in Florida because, Gage, you're kind of checking out the damage. What are you seeing there this morning?
Yeah, really, I think where we're at, the best way to say this in the capital area of the state of Florida, Tallahassee, Leon County, and now Wakulla County. Let's take a look. Really, they were spared the worst of this storm. I'm very comfortable saying that because what we're seeing is we do see some damage, road signs or traffic signals kind of wrapped around or torn apart. That's kind of conducive with the hurricane. Something that we are familiar with back home with Hurricane Beryl, things like that. But you're passing by a lot of boarded up businesses that still have power, a lot of businesses that are working on reopening, just past a grocery store that looks like it has a bunch of staff members out there getting ready to open up. So this area in particular, the capital city of the state of Florida, really did get spared the worst of this storm. Now, where we're headed right now, we're in Wakulla County, which is just south of Tallahassee, and we are headed down towards the coast. But as you look here, even on the road, remember the sun's only been up for about an hour or so now here in the East Coast. This is on the East Coast time zone. You look at the road, there's not too many branches or debris. You see some pine needles and some leaves, and maybe some very small branches that snapped off. That's about it. And in terms of a hurricane, especially a Category 4 hurricane that made landfall, that's the big difference. I mean, that's a branch right there in the middle of the road. But a Category 4 hurricane that made landfall just within an hour or so from here, you would expect to see a lot more damage. And that's the difference. You hear our Storm Tracker 2 team talking about it all the time. The difference of being on that clean side or on the west side of a hurricane versus the dirty side or the east side of a hurricane. The entire southwest coast, the Gulf Coast of Florida, kind of got beat up all day yesterday, from Naples to Fort Myers to Tampa. You can march the whole way up the Gulf Coast, and they got a good deal of it. They got quite the walloping, passing somebody on a motorcycle here. So that's just, look at the sky. Yeah. It honestly is a beautiful day. You kind of were talking about it earlier, how I think, Owen, you were mentioning how beautiful was this weekend, going into this weekend. What are you guys going to do? I think that might be a question that people here are going to have to answer as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Gage, this is Amy. You wrote out Hurricane Beryl in Galveston, and you mentioned the difference between a clean side and a dirty side, but that was a Category 1. Beryl, this was a Category 4. I'm not sure what it was like overnight when the storm hit in Tallahassee, and then, maybe it would be more comparable had you been along the coast for this one. But can you talk about that last night?
Yeah, so photojournalist Oscar Chavez and I, we were teamed up again for this storm. We were teamed up for Hurricane Beryl and Matagorda, and we were talking about this last night too because, you hear of the wind speeds with the Category 4 hurricane and how large of a storm that is versus Hurricane Beryl. We were kind of surprised ourselves that there wasn't more wind, more rain, especially now, even looking around, really any damage whatsoever. We're talking about snapped twigs in a Category 4 hurricane. It doesn't necessarily make sense. So for what we experienced, yes, Hurricane Beryl was significantly worse. Light years worse compared to what we're dealing with here. And part of that is because we're about an hour inland. That really does make a difference. You hear about evacuations. They say you don't have to go to 3 different states, right? Just get inland just so you can be safe. But yeah, a world of difference here. And even talking to people that have gone through other storms in Florida in this area, I think a lot of people were shocked in the Tallahassee area about the minimal effects of this hurricane, which is a good thing because that means they took the precautions that they needed to take. And what's that saying? You prepare for the worst and hope for the best, Amy.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're interested to see what it looks like when you do get to the coast about an hour away. So I know we'll be checking back in with you later this morning.
All right, thank you, Gage. And now a live